Predstav si, že toto video, čo dneska budeš pozerať, som nemal ani v pláne vydať. Lebo bol som host na mojom kamarátovom Discord serveri. A teraz toto točím v nákupnom centre, si predstavu na rýchlo, lebo neviem, kedy sa dostanem domov, tak radšej to točím takto na mobil. A ide o to, že je to po anglicky, keďže ten kamarát je z Rumunska a komunikovali sme po anglicky. Ale je tam dostatočne veľa hodnoty, si myslím, že by ti to veľmi pomohlo s knihami, lebo dal som to také hodnoty, ktoré učím v coachingu, čiže určite odporúčam si to pozrieť, aj keď to je po anglicky. Aspoň sa niečo priučíš po anglicky, ak nevieš tak dobre angličtinu.
Okay, so hello, my name is Alex, and I help people to read more effective and become more intelligent, so they get more status in their life from the knowledge they got. That's this is basically it.
How did you end up being passionate about this subject, and what attracted you to reading books for self-improvement?
Yeah, so since I was young, I was always the dumb kid. I was always stupider than my older brother. So this was the first thing because I never I was all like, okay, I'm stupid. That's all. Like this is what I was saying to myself. But after a while, I started noticing that I can be more like knowledgeable and probably how I get the books because I was with my ex-GF going to bookstore and then, like I found some ugliest book and bought it. And after that, I started reading more and more books, and I like found out that I can be more intelligent when I read books. Not only like romantical books, novels, and this shit, but when I read the self-improvement books, I noticed that I can talk better, I can talk more knowledgeable stuff to people, and they started to respect me for it. So that's probably why. And now I'm in philosophy, so I can be more intellectual.
And how would you say it has changed your life over the past year or so that you have started reading more?
Basically, in every aspect of my life, because imagine that a girl texts you that she wants to meet with you also because you are like knowledgeable, not because of your looks, because maybe you're gonna think like, yeah, you're sexy, that's all, that's why she's just complimenting you. But no, like I was talking with one girl like half year ago maybe, and she like stopped me when I was talking, and she like said to me like with flirty way, like you are so much intellectual, like this,
The
like
other
you,
guys, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So like I saw like the people started respecting me more even when I wasn't back then like maybe not even have the money I got now, didn't have even personal brand and didn't have even that much muscle that I got now, but people started respect me because of my knowledge. When I talk, they listened, and this is like change everything in my life. Also in school, people started respecting me. For sure, they are like saying shit on me sometimes, but the people I want to, they are respecting me. So like completely change. Even in business, I can talk for an hour about some subject because I read a book on it. So I
And
can
you have
even
the knowledge to talk about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And in business like too, like I read sales books, even like the mindset books, productivity books, everything. This helped me to be more knowledgeable, more intelligent, and also helped me in business. So if I read productive book, I can apply it to my business and I'm more productive, you know. So probably in every aspect you can even imagine like it helps me.
What advice would you give to a beginner watching this who is not reading currently? He's not reading novels, he's not reading anything. What
Yeah,
advice would you give like this guy? Where to start?
yeah. So first thing first, you have to have it in your to-do list. If you don't have to-do list, you have to make one and have it there, like read books. And you have to think of the specific time when you're gonna read, not just like when I will have time I will read, or when I will feel like it I'm gonna read. No, this shit doesn't work. You have to have a specific time, specific part of the day when you're gonna say like after lunch I will read. You have to say this and have it also in your to-do list. This is the first thing. So you even gonna do it. And the next thing, you have to pick a book. I would advise you to pick like non-fiction book, like
Of
some kind
course,
of
of course.
self-improvement books, and you should find a book that is on your topic you are like interested in and want to like self develop. Like, for example, you are starting a business. What topics should you read on? Like you are interested in. Maybe it's sales, so you're gonna buy a book on sales, or maybe it's leadership, or maybe it's just productivity because you are lacking of reading books and everything else. Buy a book on productivity, so you can even like scale up from there.
What
So
would you
always,
say? Oh, sorry for interrupting. Speak.
yeah, yeah. So always like you have to want to read the book. So you have to find the book that you really want, and also that is on your specific situation that is gonna help you. Like, don't buy a fucking book from Ray Dalio that is telling you how to invest millions of dollars. Like, you don't have any dollar in your pocket, so why would you do that?
Yeah,
Like, buy
yeah.
a like productivity book or like some mindset book or something like that. So always find this. Yeah, you
So
can ask the question.
to
Yeah,
summarize what you said that first of all you have to put your reading into a to-do list so that you actually do it. Second of
yeah.
all, choose a book that you actually like. And third of all, choose a book which will help you in your current situation, not something which is so far away from your current situation that it will not help you.
Yeah, and you
Now,
want to read it, like.
what books would you recommend for a beginner? And let's make a quick summary, like the full beginner guide for reading. What would you say like are the top three? Let's just choose three books which helped you in your experience.
This is the problem with
You can
guys who
think, you
don't.
can think. It's not no problem. You can think for half a minute. It's no problem.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have to think about books because this is the problem. Lots of people think when I'm gonna say like this is the top three books gonna help you. I don't know the specific
Situation.
situation, yeah, of the guy, so I cannot help him with this. I can say like if he's gonna say I want to like be more knowledgeable in sales or maybe be more charismatic or something, then I can kind of give him a book. But it's the way like in this case, if you like, for example, sales, and you're gonna ask me, give me a book on sales, I'm gonna give you like something from Kalnidi, and you don't like the books from him, and you're gonna buy it because I told you so, and you're not gonna love to read it, like you are not happy reading it. So I think it's not the best way to advise books. I would also always say like if you have a specific topic you are interested in and it's gonna move you in life, self develop you, like go on YouTube and find, for example, top 10 books on leadership. If you want to be better in leadership and it's also interested you, and then like find some book that is like interesting to you from this top 10, and then go on YouTube, type the book's name, then give it a review or something like that. And if it's still interesting to you, you can like buy it and read it. And if you're gonna read it and you're gonna implement it, you're gonna love it. Because if I'm gonna tell you some top three books that helped me and you're gonna buy it because Alex told you so, like you're not gonna read that great. Like you're not gonna read and you're not gonna be enjoying it. So always like go with your opinion, your like what you want to read. Like never like people also ask me like this question, like what's the tempo, what book you gonna recommend me? And I also recorded a video on YouTube, so people will not ask me again.
Okay, so just to summarize what you said,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
is no perfect book that you can read. It only depends on your current situation. So, for example, if right now you're struggling with communicating, you should read a book on communication. And if
yeah,
right now you're struggling with business and with entrepreneurship, you should go read a book on that, obviously. So, it obviously depends on your current situation, and you just have to read. That's the first part,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah,
have to start reading and get the knowledge flowing into your brain so then you can actually change your life. You just need to take action.
yeah, yeah. This is the way.
So, the next question, let's talk about um, your path to philosophy and why did you choose that? Why do you think philosophy is helpful, even for the guys who are watching this now?
Yeah. So when I was starting reading self-improvement books, I always thought like philosophy is a waste of time. It's a bullshit. I don't need it. And l- for the past 1 month, it's really like in my mind. In my mind was like I want to read philosophy. I want to read uh Platon's dialogue. Like it was in my mind. I don't know why, but I always like focus on the thought that I have in my brain because always when I'm feeling like I want to read that book, it's almost always changed my life and helped me really, like really great. So it's kind of intuition, I guess. And so I like for a month I was like, nah, I don't want to, or I will, I it's a waste of time and something. So I once upon a time I had one person dialogue named Pythagoras in my bookshelf. So I just took it and started reading it. And I was reading it, and lots of thoughts come up to my mind. Like I was reading some fucking phrase about some bullshit that they discussed, and lots of thoughts like, wow, this is I can implement this in business or like in self-improvement. So in the dialogue, Platon Protagoras, they was discussing also business ideas that helped me, and also they started like discussing instant gratification and long lasting gratification. Like I never thought that in philosophy, like before Christ, like some motherfucker will discuss this shit. And he was like saying with the path of intelligent, like intelligent guy knows that instant gratification is not like not something good is great even in future. He was discussing this way because they discuss what is good and what is bad. And
Mm.
they was discussing in the way that I really liked. So also some other thoughts come up to my mind, like when I was reading like in my personal life, and that I can even use in my videos. When I read the Platon Protagoras, I was like, I want to buy more Platon dialogues, and now I'm reading like Platon Sophistes, and it's much harder to like read this shit. But I got lots of thoughts. Like I at least like two videos come up from this book on intellect and philosophy, and it's the best thing about philosophy, like why I started reading it. It was because it's gonna give you more perspective on life. Like you can, if you're gonna go, for example, with a girl on a coffee on a date or something, and you're gonna like you can talk in different ways, like different views on life, and this is really interesting for people, not even girl. And also it develops your critical thinking, like you're gonna think much easier, like can analyze things from your life, your pain in self-improvement. Maybe you like fed this morning, you can more critically analyze this, why it happened. You can maybe journal then about it and maybe solve the problem just because of the philosophy. And also philosophy is hard to read, and my advice always on philosophy is different than on self-improvement books, because if you don't like to read a self-improvement book, something like in the like 100 page, you didn't like the like you don't like the book, just throw it away and buy a new book. But in philosophy, if you don't like it, you have to stick to it, because you're not gonna like it, because there will be like pain, you not understand the thing, like what the hell is author saying. And this is also develop your discipline, like in fitness, like you're not gonna middle of a set like stop and go home. Like this is also applied to philosophy. So that's another great part about philosophy, like it's gonna give you and help you more with discipline and staying to one like book for like at least 1 month, and you're gonna read it like 5 times to like even understand it for like 40%, and you're gonna be happy and proud of yourself that you didn't like stop it and throw it away. So that's why I started with philosophy.
I want to switch the subject, maybe to relationships, maybe to social skills, let's say. Not necessarily women, but I want us as a tribe to get to know the basics of talking to people, how to be like, how to get better socially speaking. So what advice could you give on that for a beginner?
Read a book on social skills. This is the best advice, I think. But
Now you can give
if
a
like
recommendation. Now you can give a recommendation for the
like
guys.
for example, like we all know this book, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like this is the how to at the beginning. And after that, I would like try to implement every principle that is in the book, like, and you're gonna find out like which helps you and work for your like social environment, and like use it, like just do the and apply the book. This is the best, I think, social advice for a beginner. Like try find the book, and if it's the book is hard to like read, so I think you should like first focus on the habits and then like focus on social skills. I think like if you cannot even read a book, if you are that much of a beginner.
And then after Alex told you, read this fucking book. It is all you need. All you need on social skills or everything. It's and you start like doing notes, and we're gonna talk about this. You're gonna give advice. Like the next question will be about how to um, remember what you read
Take
and how
notes.
to apply it. Yeah. So you see this, like you take notes, you go and apply it. You don't need like a fucking autist all the book in one day. No, this is not what you do. You fucking read one advice, you go outside, you practice it, then you read the next advice, you go outside, you practice it, and this is how you will remember all the advice. Now we can move the conversation into this place. How you as a book coach, like as a guy who is trying to get us to be more intelligent, what is your advice for people to remember more of what they read and to actually apply it and change their lives?
Yeah, first thing first, everything comes from if you like the book, like what we talk and discussed at the beginning. Like this is the first principle. If you have it, then you can move to things that I'm gonna talk now. Like, okay. So first thing first, never ever like underline things in your book. Like just for sake of you like the thing that the author said, like underline it, because this will never ever help you. Never. Like what did change when you underline it? Nothing. The words stayed the same, and that's all. Like, never ever do this. This is the first mistake that I even did as a beginner when I was trying to remember and apply things. And the best thing is like write in the book every thought you have. Write in it in a book. I'm gonna show you how my book,
Yeah, you can show us.
for
I'm
example.
gonna I'm gonna spotlight you so people can see better.
Yeah.
Focus on this person.
Can I?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So always do notes in your book. Always. Like the book is conversation between you and the author. Not like author is saying shit and you are like doing this. Nah. Conversation like this. Always write in your book. Like I got underlined things, but this is underlined, and there is the thought that come up to my mind when I read this.
And you basically
So
note all the thoughts that come to your head when reading.
yeah, always like you can see like I read this I'm reading this second time, so I got more thoughts on it. So like everything like this, write in your book, like it's your book. It's not nobody else book. You have to like write in it, you know.
So
And this
why do
is
you think this thing works? Like writing your thoughts. Can you explain it to us a bit more in detail?
yeah. So first thing first, like you're gonna remember more because the brain works in connecting things. He's not like a magical thing that he's gonna remember, but the best way is to connect a thing. For example, you're gonna get a thought about some kind of sentence, for example, in the book, and you're gonna underline it and give it, and like for example, like you're gonna underline it and then like
Write
give
the
it an
thought.
arrow
Yeah, yeah.
and write, yeah, write the thought. And this is you're gonna remember the thing with the thing that you write the thought with, like because the brain remembers
You make
best way when it's
associations
connecting.
between your personal life and
Yeah,
thoughts and the thing which is written in the book. So,
yeah,
okay, I
basically,
understood.
yeah.
The next
And
advice, what would it be when reading a book and you want to remember and apply to your life.
So if the book have capitals, it's not like this kind of book, and it's a practical book because it's different between theoretical and practical. We can discuss this later. Like stop for a second, don't read another page. If you read a capital, like for a second, take a book, notes like this, and write like how you're gonna apply it, like what's the thing, how you can apply it to your current situation, when you can apply it, and write journal about it for a little while. So what's come to your mind, and then if you have like specific solution, for example, from Carnegie, like how win friends and influence people. Like for example, there is a principle on smiling. Like how should I apply? Like you're gonna journal about it, and you're gonna notice like always when you say hi, like do hi and smile, and you come up with on this when you journaled. So next thing, like take a sticky notes or some note blocks. Like I have this all, or maybe it's like on your depends what you like. Write it out like always when you say hi, smile. Like I'm not gonna write it, but when you write it, like give it somewhere that you can see it. And best thing is like got like 3 of these sticky notes, like once on your PC, once like for example on the book.
So you can see it like every
Like
time you are
can,
in that room,
put
you
it on
can
your
see
book.
the advice and
Yeah,
remember it.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because you know how to apply it, you journal about it, and you're gonna do it, for example, for 2 days, and you're gonna see if it's work, if it's good for you. If it's good, you can apply it to your day-to-day life. If it's not, like don't do it.
Yeah.
So
So
this is
I need to
basically it
start
for a
doing I
practical
need to
book.
start doing
And
this
I
too.
have to
Like
go. Yeah, it's the best thing. On a practical book, I'm gonna really discuss theoretical and practical book, and I have
yeah,
to go
okay.
now
Let's.
because I
So
have another call.
the next subject is going to be um, theoretical versus practical book. What is a theoretical book? What is a practical book? What is the purpose of each each category, and how they will help you in different ways. So let's discuss this a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we
Let's start with
discussed a
what
little
is a
bit of
theoretical
practical
book
books.
and a practical book.
Yeah. The first thing first you need to come up with what is what, because you're gonna approach different the book. The theoretical book you're gonna approach different than the practical book. This is the fact. This is why we have to know if it's a theoretical or practical book. Yeah. So a theoretical book is basically you cannot you don't have a specific like practical thing to do. Just as in the name of the theoretical book. And every answer is in the book. Every answer. If you're gonna read it analytically and good, like at least 5 times, you're gonna know the answer of the topic and subject that the book discussed. This is the theoretical books. Like theoretical books are always like philosophy books. Like there is nothing like I can apply like the author is not like saying like this is the action step. He's not. I can come up with the action step, but it's not in the book. So this is like the difference. And the practical book is the answers are not in the book, answers are in the action. Like this is basically it. And this is the different approach. Like theoretical book, you're gonna have to read more times and try to analyze it and come up with the answer of the topic of the book. And practical book, like just do the thing, like just I told you before, like write it, think about it, and put it on your sticky notes, and that's all. Like
So
in
this
really
is like
quick.
a very, very, very good advice which
And
you gave, and I want to spotlight it. So in the theoretical book, the answer is in the book. In the practical book, the answer is when you apply the the knowledge. So
I'm gonna
so basically, if
say,
you want Alex's personal advice on reading books, and he will make you, trust me, he will make you as intelligent as a fucking Einstein and all these geniuses. Okay, maybe not that. I'm making huge promises, but his advice really, really worked, and I know it helped me a lot too with reading books, and he changed a lot of perspectives of mine in general in life. So if you really want to start seeing life in a different, completely different light, and you want to actually start getting knowledge into your brain as fast as you can, I suggest you DM him and he's gonna help you 100%. Thank you for joining, Alex. It was a pleasure for talking to you again.
Yeah.
And I really
Thanks
hope
for-
that we can maybe discuss more complex things next time when you're gonna be invited on the server. And again, it was a pleasure talking to you. So,
Yeah, thank you. And guys, remember everything is about the intelligent. Yeah, everything,
Okay.
everything.
Takže video je u konca. Dúfam, že ti dalo hodnotu a dúfam, že si sa niečo preučil. A je to taký nový štýl kontentu, ktorý som sa rozhodol tu vydať. Je to niečo obohacujúce nové, čiže aspoň zmenu niekedy treba. Čiže nezabudni, že múdrosť je jedna z najdôležitejších vecí, tak ako povedal Protagoras.